Hey Vishu, this is a tutorial for your request. Chris Jacobs is leaving Charm City. So let's see how it goes. Messed that one up there. Much better. So yeah, it's been a while since the last tutorial you commissioned me for. I hope that song went well and hope you've been well since then. Thanks for reaching out and commissioning me to do this one. It's been a really fun experience. I'm looking up right now at the chord chart that I created for you, and it's good if I can kind of like walk you through all the stuff that's going on, like the colors and the symbols. Basically, what I've created here for you is like a visual roadmap to where the song goes. And the master key is all the way over on the right side. If you look at row 9, column AB. So it's past column Z, past column AB through AM. Row 9, it says song structure. And right underneath the song structure, you'll see all these colors. It says intro, verse 1A, verse 1B, chorus, verse 2A, verse 2B, chorus, and then the bridge. Then verse 3A, verse 3B, and then the final chorus, and then the ending. So that's the trajectory of the song, and it follows those things. And after a while, when you get to know each section and you've done the work of piecing them together, eventually it'll all be kind of committed to your memory. And then all you'll have to do is look at the song structure. Or, if you know the song super well, you don't even need to look at that. But the song structure gives you kind of that general outline of how the song should go. So this is going to be a big undertaking. I think that for anybody to kind of get all of these little intricate things that Chris Jacobs is doing, I assume Chris Jacobs is playing the guitar. I don't follow him, his music personally until now. But for anyone to kind of string together all of the little intricacies that he's doing in one stream without stopping, without hesitating or messing up, that's a tall task. I think you would have to, in my opinion, break these parts up into really small chunks and kind of then, piece them together piece by piece until those pieces become chunks and those chunks become larger sections. The first thing we'll need to do is tune our guitar to standard tuning, okay, E, A, D, G, B, E, and then apply the capo on the 3rd fret. What this is going to do is it's going to transpose our entire guitar up 3 half steps. You can see I've got it on my 3rd fret there. And these chords should be very, very familiar to anybody who's been playing guitar for a little while. These are basic chords that we recognize without the capo as C major, F, this 4-finger version, 4-string version, and then the F over C, which is a 5-string, and then the full F, including the 6-string. These are very common chords, especially in like the folk genre. We've got another one, the F sus2, where we lift the ring finger there on the 4-string F. And then we've got the G. A lot of times for this G chord, okay, just running through all these chords for your sake. I'm running through this G chord. A lot of times I'll leave the middle finger off so that you can, in songs like this, do these little melodic figures on the 4th string in this song, and a lot of other songs too. So that's the G chord there. Sometimes Chris Jacobs will play the 4-finger G, and again mute that so you can go in this song. Useful for this song and many other songs. And then we've got a G over B. You'll hear this exclusively on the verses, and the A minor. And really, if you think about it, there are just 4 basic chords: C, F, G, A minor. And if you know a little bit of music theory, these are just the 1, the 4, the 5, and the 6 chord. They're just chords that all happen to kind of fit together really nicely, if you know some theory behind how chords are built. I've got the chord chart again, okay? All of these shapes are tabbed out relative to the capo, and you've got a chord numeral, a chord name, the tab, and ultimately the relative chord shape all the way to the right of the chord chart, so you can see what chord it looks like, although when you play it with capo 3, this is not going to be a C, this is really going to be an E flat major, this is going to be an A flat, this is going to be a B flat major, and then this is going to be a C minor. So all of these chord names, rather than use E flat or A flat or B flat or C minor, or even C, F, G, A minor, what I opt to use is chord numerals. So chord numerals are something that's much more universal. This is going to be the 1 chord. This is going to be the 4 chord. This is going to be the 5 chord. This is going to be the 6 chord. Okay. So the 6th chord, it's useful just not in this case only, but in many other songs, because you're going to see the same chords pop up again and again and again, regardless of where the capo is, regardless of what key you're in. And that's just what I'll use for this tutorial. Hopefully you can get used to it as the tutorial goes on. But it goes like this: the 4th, the 5th, the minor fall and the major lift. So that's what happens in specifically, I'm thinking of Jeff Buckley's version of Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. That's what those lyrics are referring to, is the chord numerals. But anyway, I digress. We'll come back to the left side of the chord chart, and on the left side of the chord chart, what you're going to see is your first version of the song, a very, very basic chords-only version. It goes from rows 2 through 54, and then below that, you'll see rows 55 and on are the melodic version. Okay, so it'll include all of the melodic riffs. And the way I've transcribed these chords are all by chord numerals, so you can refer to whatever those are on the right if you aren't sure, if you forget. But the end has more than just chord numerals, it also has scale degrees. And I know if this sounds like a lot, it's probably a lot to take in if you don't have any experience with music theory. But this is, in my opinion, just the most precise way to kind of explain all of the little intricate details that are going on, precisely what note and at what point during the rhythm. Which leads me to my final bit. Okay, so we've got chord numerals, we've got scale degrees, we've got rhythm as well. And so from columns A through L, you'll see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. And so the whole song is in 6. Okay, a lot of people might call this 6/8. I'll just shorten it and say the song is in 6, meaning there are 6 beats per measure, and every row is 1 measure. Sometimes you'll have 1 chord, sometimes you'll have 2 chords, sometimes that same chord will be in the next row. And so when you read through it, every row is going to correspond with the passage of 6 beats of time. So as you work your way through it, eventually you will see that every chord is placed and every scale degree is placed at a precise moment in time. So for your example, for example, you can turn your attention to row 26. Row 26 has a 4 chord, so it's 4/1, and if you go over to the right side, it'll just be this shape here. Okay, And this chords only version is what I recommend going through first before you try to add all the melodic stuff. And that's kind of where we'll spend most of our time for the first half of this tutorial. But this chord comes in on beat 1, so you can see it aligns in column A with beat 1. And then it's followed by, on column G, this 1 chord. And column G corresponds with beat 4. So you're going to count to yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I just kept going through rows 26 through 28 there. And so you can see that if you count along constantly, the chords come in at precisely a certain moment, and it's transcribed to reflect that. So if it looks like a handful to read, it's because musically there's a lot of information that I want to convey. And you won't find this stuff in tabs. You're going to see chord shapes, you're going to see little hammer-ons and pull-offs and things like that, all of which I've included, but you usually won't see rhythmic information. You won't see a roadmap to the song in terms of the song structure. There's a lot of details and context that you're not getting from tabs. So this is kind of my own little proprietary, chord chart solution. So, take some time with it, get familiar with it. You'll come to appreciate how much information I've put into this chord chart when you can kind of get the hang of, reading it and cross-referencing it with what chord numeral means, what chord name, and what chord shape, and all that stuff. One more final thing about this chords only version. When you play through this chords only version, there are going to be certain strings that you can kind of prepare yourself to move around, okay? Meaning this, you're going to manipulate certain strings in certain chords. So for example, in the key of E flat, and this 1 chord here, which looks like a C, this note right here on the 4th string, and I'm channeling a little bit of Cris Jacobs there, but he's got that hammer-on happens on that 4th string, and no other strings throughout the rest of this song in this chord shape. And so that 4th string is going to be something that you can get ready mentally as you're learning this chords only version to manipulate with hammer-ons and maybe a pull-off here and there. And I've notated that as well on the right-hand side of the document. So you could see column AF, row 2. I put it in gray. It says you play the 2nd fret there because it's just your chord shape, which is a tab of the chord, basic tab of the chord there. But that little gray box means that, hey, get ready. In the melodic section, you're going to be doing little melodic things on that. And the same goes for every chord shape that I've written with gray boxes. So the gray boxes show you which strings can move around, whereas the rest stay fixed. So that's a really long intro. I imagine there's a lot to digest, but as you go forward, you can kind of go back over the beginning, and it'll make sense as you go through the song. So rows 2 and 3, last thing I should say. I thought that was the last thing. There's one more last thing. The scale degrees correspond to each note in the key of the E flat. So when you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, what that means is every single one of these notes has a very specific number, aka scale degree, attached. So when I say 2 hammer 3, you're gonna go this note because it's the 2nd note of the scale. 1, 2, 3. So you're gonna 2 hammer 3. 1, 2, 3. So anytime you see a 2H3, that's 2 hammer 3, or 5 hammer 6, and then you're gonna see 7 hammer 8. And it's all very straightforward once you get the hang of it. And all of that written in there is not going to even be relevant until you do the chords only version first. And once you kind of feel comfortable with that, you go down to the melodic riffs section, and then you're going to add in all those crazy little melodic bits. So the first one, the chords only version, let's get a basic kind of 6 count here. 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here comes the intro. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Here's a verse. And here's the different chord there. So that's verse 1A. Here's the second half of verse 1A. Here's verse 1B. The 1 chord followed by the 5 chord. 6 chord, the 4 chord, and verse 1B starts to depart at this point. And then instead of going to 6, you go to this 4 chord. So you hold this 4 chord twice. Here comes a chorus. 1 chord, 5 chord, 4 chord, 1 chord. And so I just played through the intro, verse 1A, verse 2A, and chorus. I stopped before the bridge because we don't go to the bridge. If you look at the song structure, after the chorus, we jump back to verse 2A. And you notice that color corresponds with the color coding I've done on the left side of the document. So you go back to this section and you start with that 1 chord again, aka E flat major, also known as the C shape. It looks like a C, right? So that 1 chord, you come back to it after that chorus and you run through it again so that you got verse 2A, verse 2B, chorus. And then after the chorus, that comes the second time, right? It's the second chorus after the verse 2A, 2B, chorus number 2, we could call it. Then comes the bridge, okay? And the bridge goes 1, 2, 3, 4. If I'm counting it all out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. It's a little bit different, you know? Not terribly different, but a little bit different. Because you got, instead of this, both times, you've got the full G, the 6-string G, on the second half of the bridge there. So a little bit different, you know, note for note. This is what you're paying for. So then you get verse 3A, verse 3B, and the final chorus. And the final chorus is very interesting in the sense that we're going to use the full F chord, all 6 strings on the F chord. Almost every other time you're going to use the F with 5 strings or the F with 4 strings. The F with 4 strings is nice, it's delicate, you know, you don't have all the bassy notes. The 5th string version is nice, it shares a string with the C. Shares that note there. It's called an inverted chord, so it's a inverted F shape, right? And then we keep going. And after the final chorus, we're going to get to the ending. And the ending just goes, if you're playing basic chords, just end it on the C. So everything is accounted for in this chords-only version in terms of playing along and singing. But now, I'm sure you're very, very interested how to incorporate all of the melodic parts, okay? So when you go through the chords-only version, my advice is take it very slow, get used to how the chords switch from shape to shape, and just get used to playing that. And if you can play through the chords only version with no breaks, no hesitations, then I think you would be ready to start tackling each one of the melodic sections. Does that make sense? So you try the chords only version first, and once you feel comfortable with that, then you can kind of graduate to the next level. Okay, so get a metronome, or just kind of tap your foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just move your body, kind of, and internally count, so that you have something steady. So you don't sound like you're kind of rough around the edges. It sounds really, really polished if you can keep it steady. That's a big difference between just kind of playing around, mucking around, and actually like sounding like you're playing a really polished delivery. So from rows 55 and on, okay, we have the scale degree version. Now, if you can handle those chord numerals, you can handle the chords only version, and you can handle playing it all in time. You notice like my strum wasn't even the same throughout the whole thing. You can kind of play as you feel led, to kind of, for that moment, you could just kind of play more strums, fewer strums. You could strum on the beat. You could strum on the upbeat, which is very lazy in this case. It's not a straight strum. It's swung. It's a swung strum. Kind of should have went over that in the beginning, but I think you've heard the song and you like the song enough to know it's got this lazy, kind of laid back feel anytime you do an up strum, right? So if we go on, row 55 and on, what you're going to notice is I have replaced a lot of the chords with numbers. Instead of Roman numerals for the chord shapes, we've got Arabic numerals for the scale degrees. And so every single one of these scale degrees I've numbered from 3, 4, 5 with little minus symbols, 6, 7, and then 1, no minus symbol. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've numbered every single one of these in the key of E flat, so that when you see something on there, it's going to correspond to a actual place on your fretboard. Now I could write the fret, okay, but again, just a little bit of background. I've opted for the scale degrees here because what you're doing is really you're playing in the key of E flat, and if your ear is kind of tuned in to you're gonna find this is actually a much more musical, intuitive way to learn a song. Rather than being told just where to put your fingers and nothing else, you're actually being encouraged to kind of hear this note, and when it moves, the 2 is going to be hammering onto the 3. Like that, okay? So in the intro, you'll see the very first thing in row 57 is 2 hammer 3. So you know the chord already from the top of this document, the chords only version. The chord is still the same, but instead of just playing this shape now, we've got some action on the 2 hammer 3. So you're gonna go, just practice that, kind of like, you notice there's a hammer and then it's gonna be followed by an up strum. So you're gonna go hammer strum, hammer strum. The first hammer is initiated with a down strum, but the next strum is an up strum. So you go hammer strum. If you can count it, the hammer actually happens at a kind of a regular beat subdivision. So you can kind of think of it as okay, so that's the 2 hammer 3, and every time you see that, it's going to be the same thing. Every time you see that throughout this section. So after that, you're going to see on the and of 4, you're going to squeeze in that 2 hammer 3 again. So it's going to go 4. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how he does the intro. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Okay, so I just did the rest of the intro, and you'll see that 3P2 means 3, pull off to 2. And it's going to be followed by a little upstrum. So you notice I'm just plucking the 4th string by itself, but I'm kind of lazily strumming up next, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in terms of the beats are all pretty much down strums. And all the ands are going to be up strums. So if you're following just with your straight strumming version, you're going to just fit in the left hand, or whichever, you know, if you're left-handed, your fretting hand to do all the melodic stuff. Your right hand shouldn't be stressing out too much about what it's doing there, but you just kind of integrate that left hand first, and then you go, after the chords only version, of course, you go. See that? Do that one more time, do it real slow. So it's going to go 1, 2. Right there, that tricky little beat 6 there in that first measure. And this next chord, 2, 3. Right, 2 hammer 3 again, same notes, different chord. And you'll see that 1, 2, 3, 7 hammer 8. That's right there on that 2nd string. And then the open 2nd string, 6. Sorry, instead of 3, 5, that's 3. I was playing the other one, sorry. That's your intro right there. And if you're not used to looking at these scale degrees, all these scale degrees are also mapped out over on the right hand side of the document from rows 11 through 18 on columns AE through AJ. You can see scale degrees relative to the fretboard. So your 1st string through your 6th string, there's your 3 right next to that 6th string. I've written 0, so you could see on the open string there, you've got a -3. So anytime you see a -3, you're playing that, okay? Anytime you see a 2, you're going to 4th string, you're going to play that. So it's all mapped out there too, so you can refer to it if you're ever kind of not sure where to go. Now, the intro continues. Instead of doing it slow like I originally did, it's 4 and 5 beats, 4 and 5, 6 and there you go. 4 and 5, 6 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go back to the beginning of that intro. That's your intro there. So tricky, real tricky. But as you keep going, verse 1A, okay? You're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. That chord right there is that X2003 relative to the capo. And then kind of just playing this chill, and then you get this little weird thing he does here. You see that? That's like so many notes all at once. So you have the 6th chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3. Now I just crammed all those things in there, and you can see you've got a 5 hammer 6 and then a pull off 5. All that happens in a little fraction of a second. So you just practice that. You play that string, try to get that sound all while you're playing the A minor shape there. So you just kind of lift this one finger, and then after, you play that note there with your upstroke. So, and then you add this next one on the downstroke, and your finger's still up if you can kind of remember that you had pulled off on it. So, alright, so you have your pull off, hammer on, pull off, and then your up strum, and then your, open string there. So 1, 2, and then that's the easy part. This part right there. So 5, 6, 8. So your finger comes back on, and then your 8's already inside the A minor shape. So 1, 2. So you can just play through all those. I have a lot of comments also written in there. Some of these happen during verse 2. Some of them happen during verse 1. Those comments I put in show you where they correspond. So you listen to the original, you'll hear exactly the differences between every verse. So I try to be very, very thorough with this, since I know you're picking a song with a lot of cool melodic stuff, and you probably want to know all this. Verse 2A, for example, you see, on row 68, column E, you're gonna see this 5 in brackets, and if it's in brackets, it means sometimes you'll play it and sometimes you won't. And so anytime where that's unclear, I put a comment, and that bracket, if you hover over there, the comment will pop down and say verse 2A, meaning that you don't play that in verse 1A, you only play in verse 2A, and so on and so forth. So all these comments are in there. Packed this full of information. I think it's bursting. So then when you go to verse 1B now, okay, let's look at verse 1B. 1, 2, 3. Very similar for the first half of verse 1B to verse 1A. And then one difference you're going to have, this chord instead of the 6 chord. So the 4 chord comes in there, and you hold the 4 chord for that entire time. And when you have the 4 chord in the melodic version, what you're going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to do that open 5 in the key of E flat. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 6, hammer 6. So it's all there, all the timing and everything is there. We're going to jump now into the chorus, okay? And afterwards we're going to put everything together in super slow-mo. And so in the chorus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got that 2 hammer 3, but it's occurring over the 5 chord. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See that 2 hammer 3, and it happens on beat 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No melodic stuff here. 1, 2. Oh, and he throws in one of these things. Oh man, this guy. So he's hammering on from 5 to 6. And then he's playing the open string. All on beats 5 and 6. Playing the 5th and 6th note of the scale on the 5th and 6th beat of the measure. So 1, 2, sorry, he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 chord, followed by the 4 chord, followed by that melodic figure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all this is happening on row 61. 81, row 81. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. hammer-on occurs before the upstrum, so you triplet, and the lit of the triplet is your upstrum there. Okay? So we'll move on from line 81. So line 82 is going to be 1, 2, 3, much easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The same figure that you get on row 83 and row 78. They're the exact same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, row 84 is a little tricky because chorus 1 is different from chorus 2. So chorus 1, all you do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you've got the same thing happening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But in chorus 2, you're going to see a little bit different. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, like that. If I'm playing that slower, it'll go. So you're hammering on and upstroking so that you're kind of not really hitting the rest of the chord, and then you're playing that note there. And so that's what he does on chorus 2 as well as the final chorus. So you're going to see a little discrepancy there between chorus 1 and the other two choruses. Now this is a lot to take in, okay? Just pause this tutorial here for a second just to comment. There's a lot of information, but the thing is, what's happening is very consistent throughout. It's all in the key of E flat. It's all the same strings that are being manipulated. It's all of the same hammer-ons and pull-offs happening on those strings for the entire song. So what you get with a little bit of music theory insight is not just how to play this song, which is obviously a very long series of instructions, but what you're getting with theory is you get to understand other artists that are doing the same things with their chords and why they work together. So, you know, if I'm playing, you might find this in a Damien Rice song, for example. He's doing the same thing, you know, maybe Billy Corgan if he's ever using more traditional shapes, which I don't think he does, but any artist that's going to use a lot of these chord shapes, these are very, very common chord shapes on guitar, you're going to see a lot of the same hammer-ons and the same pull-offs, and there's a reason for that. And so the reason has to do with the key that you're playing and what notes come from that key and work together. So back into the tutorial now, that little, you know, detour, I just wanted to kind of explain. But with the tutorial, back to row 85, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're going to go 1, 2, 3. They do that time, right? So with the chorus, you're going to get, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, right? So what he's doing is a lot of little melodic stuff. So you're gonna got 2 hammer 3 to start off the last 2 lines of the chorus, while you're playing your 1 chord. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and he's gonna do that on 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So after you hammer on 2 hammer to 3, you're gonna hammer 3 to 4 right after that. So it's gonna be, but you're gonna have a little upstrum in between. So you're gonna go, right? So, and then you're gonna have another upstrum, and then back down to this 3. So. And then 2. So sometimes with that 5 chord, I have the middle fingers back there. So usually I don't play with the middle finger because I want to get ready in case he wants to do on the 4th string, but it's back on the 5th string to play like that, right? So that's in chorus 1 as well as the ending, but when you play, sometimes it's this and sometimes it's... That's what happens when you lead into the bridge. 6, 7, 1. So it's got a lot of different variations on the same structure. So within these things that are repeating, overall, he's got variations so that you have a different chorus 1 and different chorus 2. They're all kind of, unique in the way that they also pace how a song flows. You're getting more and more energy as you pick up steam throughout the song. It's pretty cool. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. So that's the ending of your chorus there. So as I mentioned, when you finish the chorus and you're going into the bridge, so that's chorus 2 that goes into the bridge, you go 6, 7, 1. That all happens on beat 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's actually, it's really, or you could do the upstrum on that note. So you could do it with its double hammer on, or you could do it with a upstroke there. They both work. One's more articulate, one's more smooth. Up to you. So going into the bridge, you're going to go. Now this is the hardest part of the song, okay? When you take all these parts separately and you play them slow and you break them down chord by chord, line by line, beat by beat, very doable. But the bridge is a lot of things happening really quick, okay? So putting this together is a little bit more challenging. I'm going to try to kind of play it together if I can remember how it goes. 1, 2, 3. And he goes. Sorry, it goes. Reminiscent of the intro there. So I'll play that again together just to string it all together. So close enough. I'll give myself an A- on that one. But that's the bridge. All those things get strung together. So if you have been following along, you know how to read through the system now, where every single note in every single chord can be translated into a scale degree, right? And every chord shape instead can be represented by a chord numeral. What you have in this section is all the information that you need from rows 88 through 95. And rather than belabor the whole point, I'll just take you through the more tough sections. But you're going to have 5 hammer 6 on row 88, column G. And that's not tough, but... So you're going to get... And that is all down strums. It's the one place in the song where you're not following down, up, down, 4, and 5, and 6, so 1, and 2, and 3. And what you're doing here is the all down strum. Dun, 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 dun. So you're going to get all down strums. So that's one tricky part of it. But once you get the hang of it, you'll kind of be able to more naturally switch between your natural strumming motion. See that? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 down. It's really funny when I say it, but you see that? That's what gives you that ability to kind of bounce between this string and this string in a very articulate fashion. And so that's what's happening there, all down strums. And then the next part of the bridge, you don't have to worry about that anymore. The rest of the song, you don't have to worry about switching your strumming flow. But row 89, that's tricky. So you're going to go from the second string, from the fifth string all the way to the second string. So it's it's the second fret, the seventh note of the scale, 7, 2, 5, 9, 8, 7, 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 9 is the note. 9. Okay, and that's all happening in time. So it's starting on beat 3. So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and you hear that? When I count out loud, it's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It all happens very quickly. But if you slow it down, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and if you don't get this the first time, don't stress, man. Just rewind, rewind, rewind. This is very, very dense material. So if you keep going, row 90 is the next thing. We're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Sorry, on 5 that happens 5, 6, and so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1. So that's your hammer, 7, 6, 5, da 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 da. I want your mix. That's your 8, 7, 6, 5 of the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5. So you're going to end on this 4, which is part of that 4 chord. Now I haven't written those chords in, so I didn't want to muddy it up too much. But if you refer back to the chords only version, you know that that's a 4 chord there. So these melodic bits, I've decided to kind of just write in whatever is kind of important. I want you to emphasize that 4, even though it's a whole chord, just emphasize the 4 right there so that you can get, you see what I mean? So it kind of singles that note out, and that's how you're going to duplicate what Cris Jacobs is doing. So row 90 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3 for the next measure is going to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and then this is tricky. You're going to go 4 and 4 and 4 and you're going to hear pull off 4, pull off 4 and 5 and 6, 4 and 5 and 6, 4 and 5 and 6, 4 and 5 and 6. You can see my right hand's working there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 5 and 6, and it's all written in there. So 4, 5, 8, 5, 8, pull off 7, 5, 7, hammer 8, and then you strum as well. Hammering on to 8 on row 91, column K. Hammering on to 8 coincides with that down strum, and that's probably the hardest part of the song in my opinion. And if you can get it, took me a little while, you can pat yourself on the back. It's a huge part. So up till now, so I'll play that again, row 88 one more time. mess that up. There we go. One more time, so. And after a while, it'll feel a little bit more natural. You know, I haven't personally even got super comfortable with it yet, but with some time, you know, song that you love should be a commitment that feels good. You know, feels good once you accomplish it. So row 92 is going to be 1, 2, 3, and that's pretty straightforward. 2, 1, hammer, 5. You're going to hear that note. These single notes, just strum, one, so you can just strum. So if you can hit the single notes and have that precision with your strumming hand, you're going to be able to do what they call flat picking. So that's what flat pickers do all the time. Much respect. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 and you hear that? 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's how row 92 goes. And then it's followed by hammer, and then you go to the 5 chord. 4, 5s. And there's this tricky part here. So you 3 on your upstroke, okay, but you're pulling off the 2 immediately. So, you know, a lot of people will pull off and they'll sound kind of each note equally. But what you're doing is, it's a very quick 3. It's instant pull off. And then you go to the 1. And so that happens on beat 6. So the N6 N6 N. And so when you play it in context, it's going to be 2. Sounds smooth once you get it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And so the next chord, he breaks it up into. First time you hear the first string by itself like that. So. And he opens it up with a sus2 chord. So bridge, whew, let's take the second half of the bridge now, okay? Second half of the bridge starting on row 92. It's going to go 1. Okay, so slow it down. Slow version. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, 6. The whole bridge. Let's do it. If you can do that, man, get all the ladies. Just kidding. Might be married. Might be already taken. But you can move on from that terrible joke. And the next thing we're going to learn is the final chorus. Okay, the final chorus on row 96 and on is basically the same as all the other choruses, except that we've got the full 6-string 4 chord, okay? And this also gets introduced in verse 3b, and I've got a comment on that so you can see that. But the full 6-string chord, so I'll play it and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six chord, full chord, 6 chord. Sounds nice and big. Right, that little tricky figure from chorus 2, and then that's, so I'm on row 103. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. Sorry, that's the one before. But on row 105, you're gonna get something a little different. You're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's different, right? So you're going to go 2 hammer 3, 3 hammer 4, 5 6, 5 hammer 6, and then open 5. All these are the scale degrees again in the key of E flat. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's what's going to happen. But the whole time your hand's going to be moving, and in context it's going to sound amazing. So yeah, right? Sound like a country dude. And then row 106, 1, 2, 3, beats 2 and 3, you're gonna have a hammer and then an open strings, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 5 chord, 5, 6. Sorry, sometimes the beats and the chords get confusing, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's how you end the song. Now you play that very, very slow. So when you play the whole chorus, at the end, it's in context, it's going to sound different from the other choruses, but it's going to sound really cool when you put it together. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So you can kind of follow all that. Let's string it all together now, okay, from the very beginning, okay? So here comes the intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Verse 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. This part's not too tough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really nice and easy and slow. And then that's really tricky. And then verse 1b, you can break that chord up. Like verse 3, 3a, they break all the chords up, so you can kind of be more sparse with it. I've written a comment about that too. Row 74. 2, 5, 6. Row 76. First chorus. 2, Tried, but I failed. But skipping ahead to the bridge from the chorus 2, kind of skipped over verse 2 because it's all very, very similar. Let's take it from the end of the chorus. So, sorry, let me do that one more time. And then, so that's basically the whole thing as far as all the crazy difficult parts. And the final chorus, man, by the time you get to the final chorus, you'll be like, it's easy. It's no problem, Warren. It's a tall task. Just to kind of recap, all of this stuff is very, very like stream of consciousness, I think. Chris Jacobs, I don't even know how much of this he pre-planned before he recorded it. But when he recorded it, it seemed as if there was enough variation from section to section to kind of give the song a little bit of a different feel when it's coming back to the same basic structure. So what you're doing, in terms of theory, is you're just kind of picking and choosing different little ways to explore the scale, exploring the scale of E flat major. And when you're playing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you can really get to know all the different ways that you can manipulate things, so that maybe in the end you're not just playing Chris Jacobs' version. You could change it and make it your own. You got 1, 2, 3. So I just, overdid it there, but that's like my version now. The same chords, same scale, different melodic choices. So who's to say, next time Chris Jacobs plays it live, he's going to do any of these things. So I'm not kind of trying to diminish learning this version, because this version is very cool. It's got a lot of stuff going on, but there's a little bit to be said there, where you have the ability to kind of do different things and have different interpretations and deliveries the more times that you play this, when you have the insight of the scale behind all those chords. All these chords, all these notes, they all come from the scale behind it. So if you'd like to go deeper into theory, just to kind of understand how a song like this might get written, or how all these different improvised parts kind of come out, and you want to get into the very, very specific kind of method that can get you there efficiently, you can shoot me an email for Skype lessons. And I work on songwriting and improvisation and all this sort of stuff with all of my students, and it's my little plug there. Hopefully you can master this song with this tutorial. But for applying it across many, many other songs that have similar concepts, you will need a little bit of that theory context, and I'm here if you need me. So that's this tutorial for Leaving Charm City. Man, it was epic. Hope you get a lot out of this, and thank you again for choosing me. So take it easy. Bye.